a liar.
The bear. Shut your mic off. What? Mom.
That was the best thing of all time.
So I get this. So listen to this. So I'm at work today, and this patient calls me, right? And so I'm having a hard time hearing him. So I said, "Hey, give me a second. I'm finishing up with a patient, but I'll be in your room in just a little bit." So I finished with that patient. Guess what patient I was with? 29. That lady that was like, so if I need you, just click this button right here.
Oh, the one with. Yeah,
so I finished helping her. So I get out of the room and I go directly to this person's room. So I got knocked on the door. And I opened the door. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And so I walk in, and then I pull up a chair and I sit next to the patient's bed.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on a chair, the patient, so I can be eye level to the patient. I said, "What's going on?" And then he said, now earlier he had asked for pain medicine, and I'd already told the nurse and stuff like that. I was like, "Yeah, I got you. I'll talk to your nurse for you." So I got off the phone. I called the nurse, but he called again, so I couldn't hear him. So I go into the room, pull up a chair, and I sit. And I kid you not, this was how the interaction went. I sat next to him so we can be eye to eye. I was like, "Hey, what's going on? What can I do for you?" And then he said, "I just need some pain medicine for my leg because my leg's hurting." I said, "Okay, great, I got you. I already spoke to your nurse for you. Your nurse is actually in another room finishing up for a patient, but as soon as she's done, she's gonna come straight in here and give you a medicine."
Is his left leg?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
And so I literally said, "Your nurse is in a different room. As soon as she's done, she's gonna come to this room."
Yeah.
This exact same voice, the exact same way. I said, he said, "Okay." I was like, "Well, if anything changes, call me. I've got my phone on me." Yeah. I sanitize, step out, go to a different patient's room. I literally am probably four rooms from his door. I get a phone call. It's his room. I was like, "Hey, this is Arthur." He goes, I need a supervisor." I was like, "Okay, I'm not sure if one's actually here, but I can definitely check for you." He's like, "Okay." So I called the nurse. I was like, "Hey, I'm not sure what's going on, but 34 wants a supervisor." And so she was like, "What?" I'll go talk to him. So she goes and talks to him. Then she comes find me. She goes, "What did you say to him?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, he didn't like the way you went in there and talked to him. And I was like, "The way I talked to him." I literally went in there and I was like, "Hey, how can I help you?" I was sitting right next to him. I was like,
"You're like, what did I say?"
This guy is such a terrible person. Like, I understand you're at the hospital. We are here for 12 hours because we want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor was explaining something to this patient, to this guy at some point today. And it's a new doctor, so that she hasn't really comprehended how to break down stuff for people as well as the nurses and the nursing assistants.
Right.
So the other nurse was in there and she was trying to explain to him what she had said. And in mid conversation, he literally goes to the nurse and goes, "I'm not trying to hear from you right now. I'm listening to the doctor." Because in his brain, he thinks the doctor is like
flying,
and
levitate.
Everybody else is just nothing.
Yeah.
And so
that's why half of them it goes immediately to their heads.
And so what happened today was, so this guy was like, he was just like bad mouthing me, and I was like, I wanted to go into this guy's room and be like, "Hey, do you realize every time you've called, you spoke to me?" I wanted to literally walk in there and bring the nurses with me and go, "Click that button, and guys, hold up your phones, and see whose phone rings every time you click this button." So it can be like, because in his brain, I was a stranger, even though for 12 hours, every time he clicked that button, it was, "Hey, how's it going? This is Arthur. How can I help you?"
That's where you messed up right there. "Hey, it's Arthur."
But again, it's like this. The thing is, if you're going to be at the hospital, it's kind of like, it's as if like they forget that they're not the only person on that floor. It's the cardiac floor, which means almost everybody on that floor is on Lasix. And I was like, "Did he fire me?" They're like, "No." I was like, "Oh, dang." That's like the greatest thing that ever happened to you. If you have a bad patient and they fire you, your date.
Wait, what? Hold on, you gotta tell me. Wait, they could fire you?
They could fire you, and that's the greatest thing to happen to you because you never have to go back into that room ever again for the rest of that day. It's when you have a bad patient, I kill them with kindness, so that they don't find a single thing to complain about, and it pisses them off because they'll do things like they'll like throw stuff on the floor, and I'll walk by and be like, "Hey, what can I do for you? I got you. I'll pick it up and I'll put it in the trash. Hey, See, I literally go above and beyond so that they have nothing to complain about. And every time I come to the room, my energy is just like doof, 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 doof. So by the time the day's almost over, they're exhausted from trying to make me like have a terrible day. But every time I'm like, hey, it's a beautiful day out here.
And that's why we're 5 minutes late.
Exactly. Good morning! What's going on, guys? I'm Alex.
And I'm Alan.
Welcome to the AAMICY channel.
Welcome. Thanks for letting me know.
Dude, I felt that I needed that energy boost for like the last 25 minutes.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to come towards the end.
The entire boom, boom, target acquired. Fire out, Will. Welcome to the AAMICY channel.
Welcome.
If you're not subscribed, guys, go ahead and click on that subscribe button below and be a part of the AAMICY gang.
Right there.
God, you know what we're doing? We do our best, guys. You know this coffee.
You're just stealing everything, huh?
This cocaine is strong.
Don't say it like that.
I'm going to create a coffee brand called Cocaine, but it's going to be like C-O-K-I. No, that doesn't work. C-O-K-A.
She's so cute.
Cocaine. Ooh. Copyright.
It's possible.
Wow, this is the greatest coffee of all time. Welcome to the Coke. Is going to be C-O-K, massive, and then kind.
I see what you did there.
Dude, I'm good.
You know like how they thought.
Branding.
They thought cocaine was in Coca-Cola back
It was
in the
at
days?
one point.
Well, yeah, because you did the Coca.
No, that was literally cocaine.
I know, but I'm saying you're bringing it back kind of, but without the cocaine.
I'm just better than everybody else out here, so that comes down to.
People are probably like, you're so cocky.
Bro, it's hard being me. I wake up and I ooze excellence. It's hard.
Yeah, they're definitely hating you right now.
Never let Alan make coffee, but somehow it happens every time.
Hey, what was it? I think 6 scoops of sugar.
You're welcome. 6 scoops of sugar, which diabetes. So, okay, guys, let's go ahead and hop in this video. We've got the full speech that RM went. The whole BTS crew went to give a speech at the UN, United Nations. A lot of you guys kept highly requesting this, so we decided to go ahead and check it out.
Yep.
So we thought for you guys, do what we do best. Let's go ahead and hop in this video. I like how I always forget this part. Like the most important part of the entire thing. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Let's get it popping.
Let's get it.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, UNICEF Executive Director, and all the excellencies and distinguished guests from across the world. My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS. It is an incredible honor to be invited to an occasion with such significant...
Pause.
True.
Bro, he's killing me.
Why?
Just the smoothness. There's not even... I'm like...
You see the crew? They showed up too. They said, we got you, bro.
Dude, I'm excited about this.
For today's young generation. Last November, BTS launched the Love Myself campaign with UNICEF, building on our belief that true love first begins with loving myself. We've been partnering with UNICEF's End Violence program to protect children and young people all over the world from violence. And our fans have become a major part of this campaign with their action and with their enthusiasm. We truly have the best fans in the world. And I'd like to begin by talking about myself. I was born in Ilsan, a city near Seoul, South Korea. It is a really beautiful place with a lake, hills, and even an annual flower festival. I spent a very happy childhood there, and I was just an ordinary boy. I used to look up at the night sky and wonder, and I used to dream the dreams of a boy. I used to imagine that I was a superhero who could save the world. And in an intro to one of our early albums, there's a line that says, "My heart stopped when I was maybe 9 or 10. Looking back, I think that's when I began to worry about what other people thought of me and starting seeing myself through their eyes. I stopped looking up at the night skies, the stars. I stopped daydreaming. Instead, I just tried to jam myself into the malls that other people made. Soon, I began to shut out my own voice and started to listen to the voices of others. No one called out my name, and neither did I. My heart stopped and my eyes closed shut. So, like this, we all lost our names. We became like ghosts. But I had one sanctuary, and that was music. There was a small voice inside of me that said, "Wake up, man, and listen to yourself." But it took me quite a long time to hear music calling my real name. Even after making the decision to join BTS, there were a lot of hurdles. Some people might not believe, but most people thought we were hopeless. And sometimes I just wanted to quit. But I think I was very lucky that I didn't give it all up. And I'm sure that I and we will keep stumbling and falling like this. BTS has become artists performing in those huge stadiums and selling millions of albums right now, but I am still an ordinary 24-year-old guy. If there's anything that I've achieved, it was only possible that I have my other BTS members right by my side, and because of the love and the support that our ARMY fans all over the world made for us. And maybe I made a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. Today, I am who I am with all of my faults and my mistakes. Tomorrow, I might be a tiny bit wiser, and that'd be me too. These faults and mistakes are what I am, making up the brightest stars in the constellation of my life. I have come to love myself for who I am, for who I was, and for who I hope to become. I like to say the one last thing. After releasing our Love Yourself albums and launching the Love Myself campaign, we started to hear remarkable stories from our fans all over the world, how our message helped them overcome their hardships in life and start loving themselves. Those stories constantly remind us of our responsibility. So, let's take all one more step. We have learned to love ourselves. So now I urge you to speak yourself. I like to ask all of you, what is your name? What excites you and makes your heart beat? Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself. Find your name and find your voice by speaking yourself. I'm Kim Namjoon and also RM of BTS. I'm an idol and I'm an artist from a small town in Korea. Like most people, I've made many and plenty mistakes in my life. I have many faults and I have many more fears, but I'm gonna embrace myself as hard as I can. And I'm starting to love myself gradually, just little by little. What is your name? Speak yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With so many young fans around the world, it was a pleasure having BTS with us, and I'm thankful that you use your platform and creativity to reach young audiences with positive messages about what it means to be a young person in the world today.
Okay, guys, that was stop this. That was BTS RM's speech that he gave at the United Nations.
Yep.
That last part that the lady said that that was RM of BTS speaking on kind of like what it's like to be a young person in the world. Excuse me, but I don't think that's just focuses on being a young person in the world, because I feel like it's a person in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like just everything that he had said. It kind of like he put it pretty much like there's nothing we can really say on top of it. It just reset like really like it's very fascinating when you can the fact that like they don't have to do that.
Exactly, and they're so humble to the point where they, knowing what the background they have. I'm sorry, I like completely took off your. Keep that idea in your mind right now. But but it's crazy how like where they came from.
Yeah.
Like they still remember where they came from, which keeps them from, I guess, thinking. 'Cause I mean, if I was at that point, it would go immediately to my head.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think it's. I think that comes with. I'm trying to think who it was. Somebody had mentioned that because I asked that question one time in the comments.
Yeah.
Somebody had talked about it, and they said that it's because of what they've gone through. It's shaped them to be the way they all are, without letting everything that they kind of have go over their heads. And I think that's, when I was talking about, I was like, how did they do it? If I was being, but again, it's. If you've gone through all of the stuff that you've gone through in life,
Exactly.
all that does is build a better version of you. And I love the part that RM said, what he said that I love who I was yesterday, who I am today, and who I'm going to become in the future.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really, I think about it's like embracing your true self, because you can't neglect the past and think you can focus on the future, because if you have to take all of it,
baggage
it's not really baggage, it's all of you with you, which allows you to be a better version of who you were tomorrow than you were today, than you were yesterday.
Right.
And I think that's one of the most beautiful parts about you understanding who you are as a person, is having that kind of I don't know if it's insight. Is it I don't know. Just kind of like vision to look at the internal rather than the external.
Yeah.
So it's very very interesting.
I think what I took out of it was the part where he was like, around the age 9 or 10, you start like letting everybody else's opinion come into your life and like completely take over your dreams and your goals that you have.
Because that's when a lot of people stop dreaming. Anyway.
Yeah. And then you just start thinking, oh, everybody's focused on me. What is this person gonna think of? But it's just like, for them to be that age to walk into that speech, I'm pretty sure they're like the youngest ones there, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny because like we're watching this right now, because I was watching this podcast this morning, Godfrey's podcast.
Yeah.
And in that podcast, it was talking about Mr. Rogers. One of these days, guys, we will definitely just do a reaction to just that little portion. It was the exact same kind of scenario. And Mr. Rogers wanted, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He wanted to get some funding so that he can be on television, because he wanted to make an impact in the kids' lives.
Right.
And at one point, it was like his budget was like $6,000 that he was operating with, and he had such a moving speech that the guy didn't even let him. Like, they didn't have to showcase anything. He literally said, "You pretty much won $20 million to do this."
Jeez.
They didn't even stop him from talking. Like, that's how well like he had put it together, because how genuine he came across. And it's the same thing I caught from like RM talking. It's like when you come from a place of just genuine, is it genuinency?
I don't know.
I'm creating words. When you're speaking from a place of true love and truly being genuine.
Yeah.
It goes across, and the people that are meant to receive what you're saying will receive it. Those who automatically already putting you off, they won't, and that's okay. It's not about them. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like that's how it is for their music too, because like I mean like it touches Army like in different ways, but for like somebody that doesn't really know them, could just judge them from off the bat and be like, okay, next, and they're like they just try to listen to what the people around them listen to.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to a lot of times. Wow. I'm assuming that was the whole speech, right?
Yeah, that's what they told us.
With our luck, You guys missed the 15 minutes that he missed. What? Anyhow, guys, if you're not part of the AAMICY gang, click on that subscribe button below and join us now. All times, don't cheat yourself.
Love thyself.
If you want to support the channel, you know what to do. Up here. And keep it AAMICY. Peace.
I live inside my own world of make-believe.